To love someone is to know them. To love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you must get to know Him. And to know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, you have to reflect on His names, the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this episode, we are going to reflect on one of the most beautiful and essential aspects of Tafakkur, getting to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the main pillars of our faith. How do we truly connect to Him? And how can we deepen this bond? How can contemplation help us get to know Allah? Contemplation allows us to not only reflect on Allah's creation, but also to understand ourselves better in light of the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is built on understanding and acknowledging who He is through His names and attributes, through His signs, and through His mercy. And as we reflect on these, we strengthen our faith and deepen our connection with the Creator. In Surah Al-Hashr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals some of His beautiful names. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون. He is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illahu, there is no God but Him. The sovereign, the pure, the perfect peace. These names, Al-Malik, the sovereign, Al-Quddus, the pure, As-Salam, the source of peace, remind us of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's majesty, His perfection, and His merciful qualities. The more we reflect on these names, the more we are drawn closer to Him. And when we understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attributes, we begin to see our own flaws and weakness more clearly. This brings humility and the desire for improvement. In the same way, we are in awe with the stars, the planets, the entire cosmos. There are times when the stars themselves serve as a reminder for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness. Just recently, we witnessed a parade of planets, a celestial event where several planets aligned in the night sky, offering us a rare opportunity to reflect on the magnificence of the universe. Such events remind us of the perfect order and design of Allah's creation. As we see planets align in harmony, we are reminded of the divine harmony that exists in the universe, governed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will. Through Tafakkur, we can contemplate on how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names are manifested in our lives. For example, we reflect on the name As-Salam, which means the source of peace. We may remember moments in our lives when we felt peace amidst trials. In those moments, we realize that this peace is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the true giver of peace. When we feel lost or confused, we reflect on Al-Hadi, the guide, trusting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance will always lead us back to Him. When we contemplate the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and attributes, we are reminded of how small we are in comparison, yet how merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just a matter of performing acts of worship, but of truly knowing Him and allowing that knowledge to transform us. Tafakkur helps us see the divine wisdom behind every event in our lives, good and the difficult moments. In Surah Al-Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invites us to reflect on His creation. He says, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. Indeed, in the creations of the heavens and the earth, and in the alteration of night and the day, are signs for those of understanding. The entire universe, with its perfect order, is a reminder of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness. As we reflect on the world around us, the stars, the sky, the earth, we are reminded that Allah is Al-Khaliq, the creator, Al-Bari, the evolver, and that He controls everything with perfect wisdom. To strengthen our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through tafakkur, here are 3 action items for you to start your day with. Number 1, daily reflection. Set aside a few minutes each day to contemplate Allah's names and attributes. Reflect on how these qualities manifest in your life and how they bring you closer to Him. If you can, try to choose one name to reflect on and apply. Number 2, mindful dua. When making dua, remember to invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by His beautiful names. Use a single name you choose for that day and make dua with that name. Number 3, seek solitude for contemplation. Just as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, find quiet moments of solitude to reflect on the signs of Allah in your life. Whether it's in nature, during prayer, or in the moment of stillness in your home, allow your heart to connect with your Creator. Our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the foundation of our spiritual journey. Through tafakkur, we grow closer to Him, understanding our purpose and our place in this vast universe that He created. May this journey of reflection bring you peace, guidance, and a deeper connection with your Creator. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mar-Istan is a non-profit organization dedicated to reviving the Islamic legacy of research and education through culturally and spiritually congruent mental health care, psychoeducation, and professional training. We integrate faith, psychology, and evidence-based care to address the unique needs of Muslim communities. Since 2021, Mar-Istan has provided over 3,800 therapy sessions, reached thousands through psychoeducation, and trained nearly 600 Muslim community leaders in suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention. Through our partnership with Stanford's Muslim Mental Health and Islamic Psychology Lab, we are pioneering faith-centered mental health training, equipping imams and community leaders with the knowledge and tools to support those in crisis. Your support sustains these vital programs, expands our services, and allows us to reach more Muslims with the information and care they need. Give today at maristan.org